Faval said Jamaica has had 33 quotes on Spice TV. Now, Raleigh, the debate last night, we want to do a little fact checking. The first one I want to ask you. Faval said Jamaica has had 33 quarters of consecutive growth only impacted by COVID. Is that true?
No.
That is not true.
No.
How many quarters of growth we had?
And what I think what them do is mix up growth with recovery.
Right.
You follow me?
Yes.
Yes. So there's a difference between growth and recovery. The economy dropped by 12% during COVID, and what we saw was a recovery getting back to there. You follow me?
Yes.
Yeah. So them tell the people that them was growing when we were recovering.
All right.
So you're dropping a hole, you hold on. So you call it in a COVID, you're dropping a 12 feet hole.
Yes.
And you climb out back. Yeah? When you reach back the top of the hole, you have to reach back the top before you start grow again. So most of it was recovery.
Right. And after that recovery, we saw a slowing down as well.
And then we drop in a recession.
All right. Now talk to us about the recession, because if you even give her the COVID era, because she said it was impacted by COVID. But of course, we didn't have that 33 quarters of growth, because 33 quarters of growth is what? 8.5 years.
Yeah, man. So that's total rubbish.
All right. Tell us about the recession. We had how many quarters of decline?
3 consecutive quarters of decline last year. 0.7% second quarter, 5.5% third quarter, 2.4% fourth quarter, despite the lies being told by Wayne Henry.
That we were never in a recession.
Yeah, man.
So that is one of the lie. Christopher Tufton said domestic export was 31%, up by 31%. Is that true?
No. Total agricultural export. By the way, hold on. Let me just tell you something when we get a while ago. Yep. Because them really affect people for food. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just tell you something that just came in from Statin. Statin just tells us that the total agricultural exports for the first 4 months, January to April, was only 24.2 million.
24.
That just came in hot off the wire from Statin a while ago.
24.2 million.
Yeah, man. The trade deficit is now $1.9 billion. Hot off the wire, just come in.
So the Jamaica trade deficit, meaning
difference between merchandise imports and exports.
Export.
Yeah, 1.9 billion. The total imports were up by 0.3% to 2.5 billion, and the total exports fell by 5.7% to 614 million. The raw material bill, 724 million, was above the total exports. The consumer goods and food bill, 694.5 billion, was above the total exports. The amount of fuel oil it will buy, 632.8 million, was above the total export earnings.
So we have what? About 4 commodities that we are importing that is above, each one of them is above the total export?
Total export.
So we can export for buy one of the commodities that we need?
Not one, yep.
And you're saying export is down by 4.something%?
5.7, not 4.7. 5.7 from January to April.
Total export down by 5.7%. So let me ask you something, Ralston. So where did that 1.4% growth in the first quarter come from?
We need to explain it, and that's why I said don't take him seriously. Wait until Statin report. One thing that we notice now, Statin do not have a director general, so Wayne Henry is operating like he is both the director general for Statin and the PIOJ at the same time.
But didn't Statin said that we had that growth, the 1.4% growth in the first quarter?
Statin hasn't reported on the first quarter. They reported on the last quarter. No, 1 point.
Yeah, they did. They did report that on the first quarter.
And they reported that after changing the methodology of how they calculated GDP, creating new sectors and all of those things.
Moving the base year and all of that.
Yeah, man.
So this argument that domestic export grew by 31% is a blatant lie.
Yeah, man, nonsense.
The next thing, Ralston, Julian Robinson said that the PNP increase in the tax threshold will cost $55 billion.
Yeah, man.
You told us yesterday that it would cost 70 billion. So that's 55. So that's a difference of 15 billion. Not so bad. But Faval said that their 10% cut in the income tax will cost $25 billion. You told us 35 billion.
No, I told you 135 billion.
Sorry, 135 billion you told us.
Yeah.
But Faval said it's 25.
So Al Edwards, who asked her the question last night, was more correct than her, and it's easy to check if she was a good finance minister and doing her work. So here's the math. Income tax is projected at 339.5 billion. Yeah?
Yes.
So a 25% income tax rate would yield 339.5 billion. So if you divide 339.5 billion by 25, you will get the fact that a 1 percentage point cut would be 13.58 billion. I just multiply that by 10. And
So you are saying that what Jamaica gets from income tax every year is
39.5. That is what they are projecting this year, this fiscal year.
39.5. So when we charge 25% on income tax, the revenue from that is 339.5 billion dollars. So if you cut that now and you stop take 25%, you're only going to take 15%, my people. It means that you're giving up 10% of 339.5 billion. So anybody can do the calculation.
Yeah.
What is 10% of 339.5 billion?
No, you have to know. That would be a 40% cut. So that you find 40% of that.
Oh.
Yeah. Remember, say, 10 is 40% of 25.
Yeah. Right. So that's how you have to work it out. So how she get 25? How she get 25?
That's why Julian says another pro box mathematics.
But Ralston, if the Minister of Finance come with those kind of figures, what does that say to her reputation as the Minister of Finance?
Remember, it was the same minister before she was minister who told us that the 1.5 would cost $0 tax dollars. Then she said $4 billion tax dollars. Then she said $9 billion tax dollars. Then she said $16 billion tax dollars. Then she said $20 billion tax dollars. And it came out at $32 billion tax dollars. So this is something. Yeah, so this is not the first time she's making those mathematical errors. This is consistent over the last 10 years.
But Ralston, let's go back to the PNP tax plan. And what Julian said last night is that it will start April 2026, but it will not happen in one go.
Yeah, man, which is correct.
But if we give up that 70 billion, how are we going to get back that in the economy in terms of getting back that 70 billion from somewhere else?
Yeah, well, that is why he says that they are planning, because they want $40 billion in tax revenues which should be available. Is based on the government's unambitious growth target of 1% per annum.
Right.
What he's saying, if you step up the growth rate, more tax revenues will be available at your disposal, and they'd start it in 2026 and then phase it in as the economy grows.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you grow the economy, so at a projection of 140 billion by a 1 percentage point growth, if we go to 3%, then we can look at $420 billion dollars.
Yeah, more tax revenues, yeah, man.
And then, but if we are going to survive as a nation, we must get at least 3% growth within the first term. Can we do that?
Yeah, man. 1% can work.
So how can we get 3% growth within our first term of a PNP?
As the man them tell you, reduce the energy bill by going into renewable energy. So two things come. You save foreign exchange and you become more competitive. So
yes.
You can import less and you can export more. Injecting in the creative industries means that you can bring in more foreign exchange.
Yes.
Right? And you grow more. The Bank of Jamaica will not have to be taking so much money out of circulation. It should be driving growth and locking up in the vault.
Yes.
You follow me?
Yes.
Boost agriculture. Yeah. Again, you cut the food import bill and you generate more foreign exchange and you create more jobs in the rural areas. Boost logistics. Again, you generate more foreign exchange and you create more jobs. You with me? Mm-hmm. So they outline a clear plan as to how they plan to do what they're doing.
So
contrary to the JLP people who are just going back to Finsac and telling lies.
So last night, did the GLP explain how they're going to spend their, or how they're going to get back that 25 billion, but we know.
But even 25 billion never explained it. They were just talking about Finsac and telling all kinds of lies.
But the question as well, Stan, we give them high marks for the question last night, but they did not ask the GLP how they were going to finance their tax cut.
Well, that's a usual thing. The people never normally ask the JLP how they're going to do what they're doing. They're always asking the PNP how they're going to finance what they're doing. It's a kind of bias that we see consistently, right? So
I had a caller a while ago who said that one of the things that she did not hear in the debate is what impact will the global economic issues, AE, the tariff and all those, what impact will those have on the Jamaican economy? Well,
that will have a negative impact on your ability to export to the US market, and that is why we need to diversify our markets to CARICOM. Julian mentioned that we need to diversify our markets to Latin America, to South America, to Asia. The JP wasn't really talking about economics and how to grow the economy. They were more concerned about Finsac, which was 35 years ago, and those things. They were never talking about how they are going to go forward.
No.
Because the minister was a total flop as a team leader.
No, Raleigh.
She has no vision as to where the country is to go.
We expect another debate tomorrow night. What are your expectations going into that debate tomorrow night?
Well, we expect the I don't know about the other man, but this is a debate that we must watch. We expect the the leader of the PNP to focus on issues like governance and corruption, as well as outline what is his plan to grow the economy, but with particular emphasis on governance, because governance is one of the things that is holding back growth, corruption and governance. We're also expecting to focus on, Julian mentioned it last night, the bottleneck that we call Jamaica House, because Jamaica House is holding back the economy because the Prime Minister take on all of these things and then don't have the capacity to manage all of these things.
But hasn't the Prime Minister already accept failure as it relates to cutting red tape? Because the Office of Economic Growth and Job Creation was set up to do exactly that, cutting red tapes. And now we see him creating another entity, putting argue marks at the end at the end of that so as to cut red tape. So isn't that admitting that I have failed in what I have proposed?
Yeah, man. And I would have no job create. I would have no economic growth despite the establishment of that ministry, because that ministry is working against himself, because him is the man running everything and him have a capacity problem.
Ralston, some of the things you said that you wanted to hear in the debate last night, you said you wanted to hear about energy, agriculture, wage bill. Did we hear much about the wage bill last night?
No, not from the Minister of Finance. We heard a lot about it from the opposition side. The Minister of Finance has merely said, well, the Prime Minister is going to tell them something, and, we have never met the 9% yet, and that kind of stuff.
You seem like you just got some new numbers from Statin, Ralston. Let me go back to Statin a minute. Have you gotten the poverty rate? Have they said anything about poverty?
No. As I said, it's as if Wayne is now speaking on behalf of Statin. So they told us that the poverty rate is 8.3%, although it is Statin's job to measure the poverty rate. As I said to you before, we see another out today where Statin is saying that it is trying to rebrand, because apparently the Planning Institute has taken over the role of Statin. Wayne is now telling us about debt to GDP, he's now telling us about economic growth, he's now telling us about poverty, all of those things.
So, the economy, Ralston, is in a dilemma.
Yeah, man.
And I don't know, anybody when I see that now is refusing to see.
Yeah, man.
But Julian said that there's money there to give the teachers, to give civil servant more. Explain that to me.
Well, as you noticed that him talk about the waste and the corruption and all of those things. So in the fiscal policy paper, there were projections for the wage bill. But clearly it seems as if that money has evaporated.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, man. On the waste and the giving away and all of those things.
So some of the things that the PNP may be expecting when they get there, maybe they are not there.
Well, Mark Golden didn't say that. So they are aware that when they go there, they're not going to see some of the things that they expect. Yep. So that is why they have to do a complete audit of what is happening before they can even substantiate the promises that they are going to make. Yep.
So the teacher, civil servant may have to hold strain a little longer, you think?
Yeah, but you'll have to find something that is sensible to tell them. So
can't be zero.
No, it can't be zero, man. Madness, that, man. That is economic and political suicide. Yeah. So the minister committed political suicide when to tell people about zero twice. That's not work.
Ralston, Christopher Tufton last night said that Peter Bunting benefited from Finsac. In what way possible could Peter Bunting and Mark Golding benefited from Finsac?
Well, he wanted to say that they got sweetheart deals. I just sent out the thing to some people where Arlie Sherwood said that, and the man then took him to court, and he had to apologize to the man then because the court threw it out. Yeah. Peter Bunting had sued him for libel, and you can check the Observer of July.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
July 12, 2010, and the Gleaner of July 13, 2010.
And the Gleaner, same date?
Yeah, man. No, the Gleaner was the 13th, the Observer was the 12th of July 2010.
Well, I had asked Peter about it, And Peter said it was him, not Mark wasn't involved in it.
Yeah, man.
And him couldn't pay the money and him just low him.
Yeah, man, it's true.
Yeah, man. I remember you said it to us, and I asked Peter about it. We were having a different conversation. I said, but tell me something. And he said, yeah, man, Mark wasn't involved in it. I took him to court and we settled.
Yeah, man.
But he never pay off all of the money, and Peter said, I never like me to need the money, just discipline.
Yeah,
so
man.
just low him.
Man. So that is why I'm going to tell you, all of these come up analysts, they tell you about the institutional memory that me can tell you about. All these come up people about them are analysts and they don't know anything.
And a lot of people don't understand that Finsac and keep forgetting that Finsac was the solution. But I don't know if you see the 18 degrees north article, Ralston.
Yeah, man.
That they are saying that the Prime Minister might have gotten a house, bought a house from Finsac.
Yeah, man. And the same man who we were talking about a while ago benefited a whole lot from the Finsac thing. And that is why, although he was the minister pushing for the report, he nobody let them publish the report. We know all of them today. That's why the report can't publish. We know that the facts about them something.
Ralston, anything you finally want to tell us before we let you go?
Well, as we say, again, this is a telltale sign of the trouble that the economy is that we get from starting a while ago. The trade deficit for the first 3 months is almost $2 billion. So if you analyze that, you're looking at a trade deficit of about $78 billion this year. It is getting worse with each passing year. So we need to concentrate on energy policy. We need to concentrate on agricultural policy. We need to push the creative industries in order to generate more foreign exchange. The Bank of Jamaica mopped up $51 billion out of the system today. The dollar still closed at 161.08. So it tells us that that medicine is not working. The only medicine that can work is production and exports.
Production and export.
And exports. Nothing
we
else can work.
must start exporting more.
More. Producing more and exporting more. Nothing else can work.
Thank you, my brother.
So if your policy is not about growth and it's about debt reduction, we don't need it at this time.
Definitely. One love, Raleigh.
Yeah, man. Blessed love, brother. Yeah, man.
Peeps, want to hear it from the best. You hear the trade deficit? We are living above our means, eating more than we can pay for. We need Michael Manley.
This thing on. So, ladies and gentlemen, to proof check what Ralston Hyman just mentioned, take a look at your screen. Shaw apologizes, pays damages to Peter Bunting after lawsuit. Opposition spokesman of Finance Aldi Shaw has apologized to the National Security Minister Peter Bunting for statements he have made at 2 public meetings in November 2011 containing that Shaw's statements were false and libelous. Bunting filed a lawsuit against him. The suit was settled on Tuesday, July 10th. Shaw agreed to issue a public apology and pay damages to Bunting. However, the parties have agreed that the amount of payment would be kept confidential. You remember what he said? That him don't have the money? Okay. The following is Shaw's apology on November 13th at the JLP Area Council 3 meeting at Manchester High School on November 16, 2011 in Runaway Bay, St. Anne. I made certain statements in relation to the Honorable Mr. Peter Bunting. These statements were also carried in the media. I hereby withdraw them, those statements, as I am satisfied there was no basis for saying them. I apologize unreservedly to the Honorable Mr. Peter Bunting for any hurt or embarrassment that my statement may have caused. Wow! So he made assertions that Peter Bunting benefited from Finsac and Mark Golding. But Peter Bunting had this lawsuit by himself. Mark never paid him no mind because the evidence did it. Finsac. Listen, can the labor rights learn? Can the labor rights learn? Stop allowing your leaders to lie to you about Finsac. Finsac was the solution. It was not the problem. The problem was created by the JLP administration. All right? And you notice every time Ralston Hyman makes a reference, you can go check it yourself. I literally just checked this by what he said, the date and the observer, and the story came up. That's all I did know. The date and the fact that it was on the observer. So big up to Ralston Hyman. You hear the breakdown that he gave on all of the fact checks about what the Minister of Finance said and Christopher Tufton. I encourage you guys to hit that like button, share the live. I've been on here for what, 4 hours? Almost 4 hours. It was time well spent, and I fact check rules. And I am very happy for those that came through earlier, that leave, and those that just came, and those that have been here the entire time, especially you guys. Big shout out to you for spending your time with me. Just Follow me on Bolo VNR Clips. Let's get that one to 10,000 subs. I need to get Bolo VNR to at least 5,000 subs. And also Bolo TBV. We need to get Bolo TBV to at least 7,000 subs. Alright? Thank you guys so much for being here. Alright? Big up on yourself. See you on the next one.